Lucy, and she loves me.
He built a television empire. He made up half the formula of the sitcom genre. He lived the American dream and nearly tore it all down for himself in the end. I don't think any public figure is so full of contradictions quite like Desi Arnaz, the legend himself and husband to the icon Lucille Ball. But just how was Desi as a father, and how did his thirst for alcohol and women destroy his supposedly picturesque family life? Desi Arnaz was born all the way in Cuba, where his father held political office as his home city's youngest mayor and the descendant of some old Cuban royalty. But in 1933, the Cuban Revolution broke out and totally uprooted Desi's entire family. A violent mob destroyed their entire property and livestock. They lost everything, and Desi barely escaped the fray. His mom went into hiding, and his dad wasn't so lucky. He ended up being jailed. Desi's uncle worked very hard to get him out, and finally, the family fled with what little they had to Miami, Florida. Desi, just 17 years old here, was pretty much penniless and didn't even speak a lick of English. He and his dad stayed in a garage, and their roommates were rats and roaches. Of course, everyone remembers their first job. Well, his was working at a local Woolworths. But all the while he was mopping floors at Woolworths, Desi Arnaz had hope. Through this whole turbulent phase of his life, the young man became a budding patriot because he knew no matter where he fell in America, he could climb back up. So he let his dreams stay big. Turning his sights to showbiz, he slowly built a name for himself, and he introduced the conga line from Cuba to the U.S. clubs. Love in all its truly messy forms defined the truly complicated relationship between Desi and Lucy. They were in love when they met, just not with each other. The year was 1940, and both rising stars crossed paths on the set of Too Many Girls. The two were unlike anything America or each other had ever seen. Lucille tended to date older, taller men. The two started chatting and couldn't stop. They set up a dinner date, crossed paths at the beach, and stuck together like magnets. But they both were in very serious relationships with other people at the time. Desi was with the girl he nicknamed Freckles, and Lucille was outright engaged. But the story goes, Lucille broke off the engagement the next day. After that, the couple was inseparable. If you'd like to support the research we do to uncover deep stories like this one, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support means we can continue to bring these untold truths to light. Actresses ruefully saw Lucille oscillate between an independent woman way ahead of her time and a traditional housewife whenever it came to Desi. Stuck together like glue, whether America liked it or not, and some really did not. For one, the couple lied about their ages. Lucille was 6 years older than Desi, and executives would have made a big thing about that. So instead, they made a big thing about Lucille being American born and raised and Desi Cuban. In fact, the higher-ups at CBS warned Lucille the American public would never go for a show revolving around a couple like this. But in classic Lucille fashion, she stood her ground. And boy, was she right, setting herself and Desi up as the first interracial couple on American TVs. The Supreme Court hadn't even legalized interracial couples yet. It was this first ever mixed couple that showed the world just how successful this television show thing could be. Desi and Lucille were in the spotlight like no other couple was before. And behind the scenes of their sweet, idyllic marriage, before, during, and after Desi's time with Lucille, there was a lot of cheating. In fact, right after they began going out, they worked on their own projects. Before Lucille heard Desi met up with his ex-lover, actress Buddy Grable, Lucy showed up at his house and told him off. And then Desi proposed. But that was just a band-aid on a persisting flesh wound. Desi's first girlfriend, nicknamed Freckles, never protested even when she knew he was cheating on her with Lucille. That made him feel terrible, but he did it anyway. And that would be a bit of a theme. In his memoir, he said, "Even though I might have done some bad things in my life, none of them could have been as bad as what I did to her." Lucille and Desi had conflicting schedules, one wrapping up just as the other one was heading out. This, and Desi's wandering eye, made romance and intimacy hard to coordinate. And when they tried for a baby, Lucille suffered several miscarriages before they conceived their first child, baby Lucy. And for a while, things did change for the better. Desi and Lucille biographer Bart Andrews asserted, some of Desi's womanizing was alleviated from the moment little Lucy was born. Director William Asher seconds this, saying Desi looked especially tender in those episodes that immediately followed their daughter's birth. But for some people, success also means more to lose and farther to fall. And Desi began to feel pressures of, well, everything. From family to work, being a sitcom icon and husband to the legendary Lucille Ball, to managing their company, Desilu Productions. Up went the drinking and cheating. It was an open secret that Desi's father and grandfather had mistresses, even separate properties to see them at. Those who knew Lucille and Desi knew they could both be a piece of work. One time, Ball saw a magazine that promised juicy details on who Desi was sleeping with. It went into detail about him and a relative recruiting ladies who were referred to as cuddle for cash babes, and how the women left considerably richer. Lucille disappeared into her dressing room, came out, and told Desi right to his face, I could tell them worse than that. Some of his alleged affairs included dancer Lillian Molieri and actress Patricia Medina. Before they split, Desi and Lucille became the parents of two, Lucy and Desi Jr. According to daughter Lucy, Lucille balanced and separated her work life and home life, keeping all the zany antics to the stage and using her mind for organization and discipline at home. Lucy called her mom a list maker. As for Desi, she says he had a love of life and a sense of humor she called twisted. But Lucy inherited her appreciation for music from him and his business sense, operating by some simple rules. If you don't know, ask. There are no stupid questions. Also, hire the right people who can do their job. And finally, if you don't know what to do, don't do anything. Lucy and Desi Jr. inherited some life lessons wisdom from their parents and some difficult first-hand wake-up calls. Desi's substance abuse exacerbated problems that were already there, like his quick temper, his poor choices, and attitude. It's something that would plague his life and that of his son, but it would also be his son who would help him. Desi's daughter tells how Desi resisted going into any program for a long, long time. The family didn't want to air their dirty laundry to others. The idea made Desi sick, but so did the alcohol, and so did the death of his second wife, Edith. When Junior saw his dad so downtrodden, he told him, "Come on, Dad, you can do this." And that was enough to get Desi on the road to recovery. And Junior was right there with him when Desi said, "My name is Desi, and I'm an alcoholic." But sadly, this huge step happened not too long before Desi would leave this world. Not long after getting sober, Desi found out he had lung cancer. But Desi and Lucille's lives were forever connected by that point. Even after splitting, they were forever friends. Lucille's close friend, actress Carol Channing, once said, "They spoke so lovingly of each other, you almost forgot they weren't together anymore." That's because of what Lucille called their unconditional love for each other that could not die. As she puts it, there was forgiveness, there was understanding, there was an appreciation for that other person, and what you got from that other person regardless of the stuff that hurt. That never went away. So Desi still had his family in his life when he passed away at 69 years old on December 2nd, 1986, passing away in his daughter's arms. While Lucy held the phone, he talked to Lucille, who said the same 3 words to him over and over. "I love you." And Desi said back, "I love you too, honey. Good luck with your show." Desi Arnaz's life was an adventure packed with loss and victory, sometimes at the same time. He was half the formula that revolutionized television, experimenting with the use of film, introducing the very idea of reruns, and bringing in a live audience to give TV something special. He gave his kids great advice, both as a cautionary tale and as fatherly wisdom, and often he could have used that guiding voice himself. Desi Arnaz's story is a powerful reminder that even the biggest legends are human, full of both brilliance and flaws. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today to remember him. It truly means a lot to have you here. If this story touched you or taught you something new, please hit that like button. It's a small gesture that supports our channel in a big way. And if you want to uncover more hidden stories from television history together, make sure to subscribe right now. We have so many more memories to share. Thanks for watching, and take care.